Welcome back, Algebra 2. In this video, we'll be going over the solution to the problem shown on the screen. All right, so we want to find the solution to x squared plus 72 equals 0, and we're going to, the problem tells us to use imaginary numbers in our solution. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, so the first thing I want to do is start isolating x squared. So I want to subtract 72 on both sides of my equation. So I've got x squared equals negative 72. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is take the square root of both sides so that we can isolate our x. So I've got x equals plus or minus. And now I can separate that square root of negative 72 into the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 72. Okay, so now I want to break down the square root of 72 just like we did in the previous video. So here's my list of perfect squared, and I'm just going to shorthand that, perfect squared numbers. So remember, our list of perfect squared numbers included the numbers 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now I want to start from the bottom of my list and work my way up. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start at the 81. 72 divided by 81 is not going to give me a nice number. 72 divided by 64 is not going to give me a nice number. 72 divided by 49 is not going to give me a nice number as well. 72 divided by 36. Oh, that is going to give me a nice number. So we can replace the square root of 72 with 36, the square root of 36 times the square root of 2. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to copy down the first part of our equation, x squared, or x equals plus or minus the square root of negative 1. And instead of writing the square root of 72, we're going to write the square root of 36 times the square root of 2. Okay, so now let's do some replacing just like we did in the other video. Some substituting. I can substitute the square root of negative 1 with I because that's what I stands for. I can substitute the square root of 36 with the number 6 because that is a nice number. And the square root of 2 is just going to come along for the ride because that doesn't simplify anymore. Okay? So there is my solution. I've actually already simplified it as much as I can. So x equals plus or minus 6i times the square root of 2. Now, if you're breaking that up, that turns into x equals 6i times the square root of 2 and x equals negative 6i times the square root of 2. All right, thanks for watching. We've got a couple more practice problems to do together, so let's go back to class and do that.